2011 to 2012, rookie Kyrie will forever be one of my favorite point guards. I can't put my finger on it, but something about watching Kyrie's evolution was special. As a fan, I was all in. Since Kyrie's rookie season, he has done nothing but grow and evolve into one of the most talented scorers that the game has ever seen. Though Kyrie's growth wouldn't come without some tough lessons along the way. Lessons that we'll just have to talk about in this video. It's really weird to me that Kyrie's had this very successful career and has even won a championship, being an essential piece to the puzzle. Honestly, I'd go as far as saying that the Cavs don't win a championship without him. Yet, here we are with Kyrie not yet out of his prime, still having some people doubt what he brings to the game. And if what he brings to the game is even worth it. While there are some who have doubts about what Kyrie brings, I can tell you who doesn't. He goes by the name of LeBron James. Guys, we have a ton to discuss this video, but before we go any further, let's get a word from our sponsor. The NBA playoffs are well underway, and all of the homies over at Manscaped wanted to make sure that the viewers of this channel were balling at the level that we all know that they could. Just because the Lakers had a rough close to their season, that doesn't mean that we have to also. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0 has a roster so stacked that it could take down any opponent. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, and the light on it is clutchier than a Stephen Curry jump shot. The Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer is waterproof and also uses a 9,000 RPM motor with a 360 rotary dual blade system. The deodorant and toner are great touches that keep you smelling great even if you're not. Honestly guys, Manscaped really has it all. They got body wash, they also have shampoo and conditioner. If you want to build a championship caliber team, look no further than Manscaped. To join the winning team and get 20% off plus free shipping, use code GETLikeCoop. 20% off plus free shipping from Manscaped is an offer that's really too good to pass up, so make sure that you don't. Be sure to go to manscaped.com and use code GETLikeCoop. You'll find everything you need down in the description below. Again guys, I want to give a major shout out to Manscaped for supporting our channel. The whole Kyrie and Bron stuff is really interesting. According to Brian Windhorst, a couple of years ago when Kyrie was headed to free agency, LeBron James was interested in trying to recruit him to the Los Angeles Lakers, and he reached and attempted to mend fences. It lasted for a short time. When Kyrie didn't choose the Lakers, their relationship went away again. Could you imagine Kyrie and LeBron teaming up in Los Angeles? Does the Anthony Davis trade still happen if the duo teams up before he arrives? And more importantly, how many rings do you think that this core ultimately would have netted? That's honestly a tough question. I want to start answering more of my own questions, but that one I'm going to skip because I'm honestly just not sure. While Kyrie has been relatively silent about playing with LeBron James outside of this, that's actually a joke, but to get back to being serious, Kyrie actually has some regrets about leaving LeBron James. He also has some regrets about the way that things went down. Kyrie said this about leaving Cleveland. They told me their future plans. I said, look, this isn't for me. Didn't get a chance to talk to Bron before the media ended up coming out and saying that I asked for a trade. Now that kind of contradicts this first take segment that Kyrie had around that time, but who am I to judge? What's said to the public isn't always a reality, no matter how bad some of us want it to be. Just as the Boston Celtics, Kyrie Irving said that he wanted his jersey in the rafters for them. And I mean, we all know how that ended up turning out. Shout out to the Boston Celtics though, a video on them is coming soon. They've been quieting a lot of noise that surrounded their team this season. To get back to Kyrie leaving Cleveland, there's absolutely no shame in wanting to grow as a player and test your limits, or in the words of Kyrie, simply wanting something different. The same people that were mad that Kyrie left LeBron and the Cavs are some of the same people that get mad when a star player teams up with another one. Call me crazy, but I was one of the people that thought Kyrie Irving in Boston had the potential to be special. Unfortunately, Kai was going through some things at the time, and then there were injuries. The whole situation left a lot to be desired. The same way that some things have been left to be desired in Brooklyn. With things taking an unimaginable turn in Brooklyn, I wonder if he has any regrets about the Nets' current situation. I know that he absolutely still loves KD, and he's viewed himself as an integral part of what the Nets want to do, saying things like, "When I say I'm here with Kevin Durant, I think that it really entails us managing this franchise together, alongside Josiah and Sean Marks, and just our group of family members that we have in our locker room and our organization. So it's not just about me and Kev. I don't want to make it about that. We are cornerstones here, but we also have a few other guys that are on contract, and I think we just got to make some moves this offseason." This might be wild, but I've never really been a fan of the whole player GM thing. Imagine that you're trying to hoop, and you have to hear chants about one of your players potentially trying to trade you. Not your GM, but one of your teammates. I think that it's just a conflict of interest. But I definitely do understand why a franchise cornerstone would want to be involved in roster moves. Kai's actually been on record wanting some roster moves in the past. The Nets being all in would eventually land James Harden. There was obvious friction with James Harden, and there are already reports surrounding Ben Simmons' dedication because of the fact that he didn't at least try to play in an elimination game. To add on to everything that I just said, the Brooklyn Nets have tried to put their foot on the ground in the past. If you go back to October, you can find Shams reporting that Kyrie Irving would no longer be offered a contract extension by the Brooklyn Nets. Sean Marks has been openly frustrated with Kai for a minute. There was that whole "I don't need players who aren't full-time" thing. The whole situation was a mess. Speaking of mess, did anybody catch former Nets assistant coach Amari Stoudemire discussing the Nets' problems on ESPN? Amari was the right-hand man of what former Phoenix Suns point guard again? To be real, Amari didn't really say anything too crazy, but he did provide some valuable insight. May 17th, it was reported that talks between Irving, Marks, and Nets owner have yet to happen. Marks said, "I look forward to the talks. We have not had a conversation yet, so I look forward to getting in a room with him and Joe and his team, and we will see. We'll see what it looks like for Kyrie moving forward here, and what he needs from us and so forth." So again, it wouldn't be right for me to comment on what hypothetical could happen because we don't know. We haven't had those conversations with Kyrie yet, but when we do, we'll see if the fit is right for both sides. Now, about a week ago, Sean Marks said that we need people here that want to be here. They are selfless, that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And there's an objective and there's a goal at stake here. And in order to do that, we're going to need availability from everybody. Is this Kyrie Irving? Only time will tell. A lot of people actually thought about Kyrie when they saw this, so I thought I'd include it in the video. You can let me know what you think down in the comments below. Personally, I think that these comments also involve Ben Simmons. Obviously, there's a correlation between these reports and the Nets wanting to shift their culture back in the right direction. Before the Nets became a roster known for its stars, Kenny Atkinson, D'Lo, and the gang had helped build one of the most easy to root for cultures in the association. The culture was actually one of the critical draws that got KD to commit to Brooklyn, at least according to KD. Where did that culture go? I'll let you guys answer that. I guess at the time, DeAndre Jordan fit the new culture that the Nets wanted and Kenny Atkinson didn't. Look, I don't know what happened. Actually, I do. I know what happened. When it comes to Kyrie, there's this negative stigma surrounding Kyrie. But I do think that he could potentially help shift Brooklyn's culture back in the right direction, as ridiculous as that may sound to some. You can question some things about Kyrie, but it's definitely not fair to question his work ethic. Just check this clip out from his Twitch stream.
I'll tell you this, like, that's where people got me messed up. Some people got me messed up there. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna address it or go into detail, right? I'm just gonna say people got me messed up there. You thought that because I'm human and I'm different, or because of what has been told to you? Because in the life that I've lived, I haven't seen anybody in my locker room that was there every day that could attest to all these things. Because I think when I step on that when I step on that floor, I mean, all I know is assassin time, right? So you see where I show and tell y'all. I'm just keep showing and tell y'all, like, we don't have to go into detail about it. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You just got me messed up. Yo, I've been on an accelerated pathway since the 18, 19 years old. Now I'm 30. Yo, just we're gonna enjoy. We're not even gonna call this the redemption tour. We're just gonna enjoy every moment. We're just gonna stay present every moment. The good, the bad, everything comes with it. Alright? That's all we're gonna do.
Kyrie has been dropping some gold on Twitch. He is my favorite streamer. The vibes are actually really good in his streams. Kyrie becoming my favorite streamer is something that I did not have happening in 2022, but I'm glad that it did. According to Brian Lewis, if Irving were to opt out, he would be eligible for a 4-year, $189.7 million extension, or even a 5-year, $245.6 million deal, with only the Nets being able to offer him the 5th year. If he picks up his option, he could ink extensions of either 3 or 4 years, picking up 2023, but that would require leaving more than $5 million on the table. Will Kai opt out? At this point, I'm not sure, but I am sure that him and the Brooklyn Nets have options, and that the Brooklyn Nets also have a very polarizing choice to make. Even with all of the nonsense, Kyrie has made it very clear that he wants to stay, saying that I love it here and there's no way I can leave my man 7 anywhere. But on the Brooklyn Nets side of things, injuries and availability have been an issue. But to go back on the Kyrie side of things, at this stage of the game, Kai and KD are looking like a package deal. Kyrie is a high-level player. If you lose him, you immediately become worse and your championship window slams shut, unless you have a backup plan. Who's to say that losing Kai is something that KD would even be on board with? I'm sure I don't need to talk about how invaluable this 6'10 do-it-all forward is to this team. Regardless of the first-round sweep, KD is still one of the toughest covers in the game and infinitely makes any team better. Galaxies better. Don't let the sweep trick you into thinking that KD is not one of the best players in today's game. When it comes to this Brooklyn Nets franchise, I want to know what you would do regarding Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, the picks, everything. Let me know what you would do down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm Get Like Coop, bringing you guys the scoop. Until our next upload.